Hello, and welcome to episode 5 of the MisanthroPod. I'm Snipe, and I'm joined by Wib. Hello.
Hello.
How are you today?
I am okay. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm quite alright.
So what do we have to talk about today?
Well, today, I thought I'd talk a bit about biker mice from Mars.
That seems like a good use of time for two people who are way too old to be talking about biker mice from Mars.
I suppose. Yeah? Okay. Okay, for those, for the uninitiated, Biker Mice from Mars was a 90s cartoon in the same kind of vein of, like, Ninja Turtles and Street Sharks and, basically say that word for me?
Anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphic animals that are badasses. It was kind of a genre for a while in the 90s growing up.
Which got awfully specific, which is why you end up with a show called The Biker Mice from Mars.
Yeah, and it okay. It wasn't a fantastic show. It might shock and appall people that I've said that. But fundamental basics of the show were there were three brothers, Modo, Vinny, and Throttle. Modo was my favourite. He was basically Big Boss. Like, from MGS5.
He kind of is,
I'm
actually,
not even
yeah.
joking.
He's got the eye patch and the robot arm.
Yeah, and he's from Mars. Oops, spoilers, sorry. If memory serves correctly, because I've only just recently gotten back into it, because I remembered it was a thing, they are resistance fighters against the Plutarchians, which, like, the big bad guy is, like, Limburger, who's a Plutarchian, which is, like, a fish guy, who tried to enslave the Martian mice of Mars.
The Martian mice people.
The Martian mice people of Mars. And there was a resistance, and that's why Modo has an arm missing and an eye missing, and Vinny's got a metal plate on his face, and Throttle's got weird eyes that are broken. I don't remember how they end up on Earth. They probably just do, because they fuck off to Chicago for one reason or another.
Someone had to.
Yeah, and they meet up with Charlie Davidson.
Oh, I didn't know that was a surname.
That's literally, yeah. But her name is Charlene Davidson. Because, they like motorbikes. There is literally, like, I think Vinny before, like, when they were in the Resistance, had, like, this little, like, fling, or, like, little romance going with an actual Martian mouse called Harley.
Excellent.
So I was just like, that's fantastic. But yeah, and then they go on adventures, and Charlie has a weird romance thing with Vinny, which, as a kid I thought that was adorable, but as an adult I'm like, dude,
that's really weird.
That's a giant fucking mouse. What's wrong with you, honey? But whatever, each to their own. And I've really gotten back into that lately. And I tweeted as such, because I'm good at the social medias, and I was like, I just remembered Biker Mice from Mars for a thing, and I'm just like so pumped about that. I get retweeted by the official Twitter for the Biker Mice game, and I'm like, what?
There's a Biker Mice game?
There's a Biker Mice game. For phones, of course. So I'm
Not
like,
for real consoles.
Not for real consoles.
There was actually one on the SNES, I believe.
Yeah, there was, yeah.
And it's terrible,
never played it.
if I remember correctly.
It's probably better than the one I'm going to be talking about. So, this game, which is simply called Biker Mice, is like a 3-lane runner, motorbiker? I don't know, whatever. So you're driving along your motorbike, and you've got to just avoid shit and collect coins.
It's basically Pepsi Man.
Yeah, but without any of the charm, really. You play as a 3D model of Throttle, which looks okay. I mean, okay, no, it doesn't look very okay. It's a 3D model of Throttle, I guess. But it's obviously quite slapdash, because you can see, like, on the bends, there's a lot of weirdness. You know what I mean? 3D models where you get, like, it's almost clipping. Yeah, you can tell the model's not very happy.
Like, but it's not been rigged very well.
Yeah. And so you drive along and you get coins, and there's a story mode. And it's just like, oh yeah, Charlie gets kidnapped, because of course she fucking does. And then Modo basically quotes Taken, and it's like, oh, that's bad.
The thing is, you showed me some screenshots from that thing.
Yes, the screenshots for the story, they literally just print screened the old VHS, like, episodes and just cut them out. or edited them slightly.
The best one that you showed me was where Modo had to be holding a phone, and obviously in the original picture, he wasn't. So they just badly photoshopped a cartoon phone into his hand.
It's like a clip art phone. It's really quite funny.
It's like they didn't have an art department. They had a copy of Photoshop and 20 minutes, and so they had to get a story out there quick.
Yeah. Who developed it? I think Ninth Impact are the developers, apparently. Well, that's the name at the beginning.
That's their pseudonym that they go under.
Yeah, it's like, I feel really bad for bashing this little game that they somehow have the license for.
Oh, it's fine. Like, no one cares about Like Mice from Mars anymore.
Believe me, I know. The 2006 remake made me so fucking angry because they were all fucking Bishonen, and it's like, no... They were legitimately
I've seen them.
Fair enough. If you like Bishonen, that's fantastic. I wish you the best, and that's great. But that's not the Biker Mice from Mars, man. Like, Throttle's all, like, really long, like, with his long, shapely legs.
The long throttle.
And his fucking emo haircut, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
You see, I imagine after that it wasn't actually hard to get the Biker Mice from Mars license. They just
you probably got it in a Christmas cracker.
Yeah, you just snap it open, there's a bad joke, a silly paper hat, and, the license to make a Biker Mice from Mars game.
The license to make the Biker Mice from Mars game was the bad joke.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
But no, it's just really bad, and, like, it goes on, and, Grease Pit shows up, which was, like, a popular, like, he was a henchman of Limburgers.
He was the main henchman, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, there was, like, Carbuncle as well, but he was, like, the science man. He was creepy, and I always hated the name Carbuncle, but whatever. But yeah, Grease Pit was, like, the thug that Limburger had. And he's like, oh yeah, I've stolen Charlie for reasons, now come and chase me. And it's basically like, kill 4 goons with your laser gun, which you pick them up like a power-up, and then you have to press the screen, and then it fires a shot. And like that's another thing, power-ups, like, okay, I got a shield power-up, which I was like, okay, that means I'm going to be able to drive through cars. No, that's not what that does at all. What that does is mean that you're, like, immune to laser fire.
Oh, of course. A shield. Why would you think a shield would shield you?
I don't know. I know, right? It's, Also, when you, like, die, or basically one hit, you're out. I think you have to spend premium currency to get a revive basically a second before you ate shit. Or you can just restart the level again for free.
Is it the sort of game where you only have so many goes a day, or is it like...
No, it's just you only have so much premium currency.
Yeah.
And you can have to, like, buy it. So, if you don't meet your quota for killing bad guys with your laser gun, or if you hit something, then you have to do a restart. I think if you just get to the end of the level and you killed 3 out of 4 bad guys, I don't think that costs you anything. Actually, I don't think that costs you any premium currency, but it's still, like, really annoying because it's just the same fucking stretch of road over and over again, and you find yourself zoning out because it's just kind of a bit dull.
So where something is so boring that you end up making more mistakes because you're just not paying attention.
Yeah, really. And, like, it does bug me because I really want to play as Modo because he's my favourite, but I can't because he's, like, stuck behind a fucking paywall. And, like, okay, so you get maybe, like, 75 coins per level, if you've collected quite a few. Modo costs like 3,000, and it's like, now that wouldn't be so bad. No, actually, it is shit, but it wouldn't be anywhere near kind of as shit if it wasn't like, there's a couple of points in the story I've gotten to where it's like, oh hey bros, we need to upgrade our laser capacity, and then you're like, nah, I don't want to, and it's like, no, you've gotta. You have to spend money. You can't progress until you actually spend money on power-ups that you may never use or even need.
It's just arbitrarily making you spend your premium currency.
Yep, so
How much does the premium currency cost?
I barely ever check. I will have a look now. Very, very quickly. Okay, for a pack of 4 tetrahydrocarbons...
Right.
Yeah,
that's
that costs 79p. Say if I wanted to get Modo, that would cost me... Vinny costs 75,000 coins.
What?
Yeah, I have only like 205, and Modo costs 30,000.
Oh, he doesn't cost 3,000, he costs 30,000.
Which is even more ridiculous.
So how much is that in real money?
How much is that in real money?
So 30,000 coins.
Okay, 30,000 coins. Well, the thing is, you can't just buy coins. You have to buy the premium currency so you can spend that on the coins.
Okay.
So if I wanted... Okay, there's 50,000 there for 100 crystals. I'd have to spend probably about... Well, I'd have to get the 19 pounds bundle.
So it's going to cost you at least 20 quid to unlock a single character.
Yes.
The cheapest character.
The cheapest
to unlock.
character.
That's not great.
No, it's not fucking great. It is so fucking bullshit. And it's just like, this is why I fucking hate mobile gaming. No, it's like, I'm not like sitting here going, I don't think that the creators of apps should be allowed money. That's not what I'm saying at all. But there's a way to do it, you know?
Oh,
like
absolutely.
you gotta make a good product first, and then go, hey, if you want to chip in, you know, because we worked hard on this. Here's the tip jar, basically.
Yeah, well,
whereas the biker mice is really boring. It's bad and it's just shit. And I want to play as fucking Moto and I can't. I remember everyone's favourite being Throttle or Vinny anyway. So
yeah, my favourite was always Vinny. It really annoyed me because I had...
Let's talk about happier things. Let's talk about the action figures.
Yeah, I mean, I had some of the action figures, and the ones that I had like a full set of, like of the 3 biker mice, was their like freedom fighter versions who were in like camo.
Oh, cool.
And because my mum used to work at like a factory outlet toy store, so I was able to get them cheap, which is the only reason I had them. What I always wanted was to get Vinny's bike.
Vinny's bike was cool.
Because I had...
Baby.
I didn't know it had a name.
No. There's Moto's bike, which is Little Hoss, which is the only one that's been officially named.
Okay.
Then there's... Oh, fuck. Throttle's bike, I think, is Baby. And then, yeah, Vinny's bike is Lady.
Okay, that makes a depressing amount of
He
sense.
rides ladies around town. That's actually pretty accurate.
However, you have to twist things so you can make that boast, you know, whatever. But yeah, I always wanted Vinny's bike, but that was the one that was always sold out whenever. I had Throttle's bike, the Freedom Fighter camo one, and I had Moto's bike.
But Moto's bike was the best because it was a proper like chopper.
Yeah, and Matt had the Freedom Fighter camo one as well. But I also had Throttle's bike like without the camo on, with just its regular throttle thing, and I just could never ever get a bike for Vinny, and it always pissed me off because that was one that wherever you went, it was sold out. Like because no one wanted the Freedom Fighter ones, which is why I ended up with them. But like, so I was hoping I could at least get that version of it, but no, couldn't get Vinny's ever. It always annoyed me.
See, I never had their bikes. I always really wanted their bikes. I had normal Moto, normal Vinny, and normal Throttle, and I loved those little bastards.
I think there was one of the original trio I didn't have in like their regular colours. I'm sure I had Throttle, and I'm sure I had Vinny. I don't think I had Moto.
I think Vinny was the only one that wasn't proper, actually, looking back. I think I had like the sports one. Where he was like, instead of his double bandoliers, he was like wearing like a basketball jersey.
That's sounding very much like the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
figures.
where they just be like, oh yeah, this is like the Surf's Up turtle or fucking whatever.
And it was just whatever bullshit they could foist upon kids, you know.
Yeah, but no, I had those, and I loved those fucking models. I love those figures so fucking much. I was a weird kid though. And I really I thought archaeology was cool, because, you know, dinosaurs are really cool. So I buried my biker mice in my sand pit overnight.
As you do.
As you do. Because I was like, I thought that they had fun adventures, and then I'd wake up and I'd dig them, and I dug them up, and they weren't there. They just weren't there in the morning.
It was probably a dingo stole them.
Fucking dingo stole my biker mice, the fuck? We should cull those bastards fucking coming here and stealing my bike. I'm so miserable that I don't have them anymore.
Oh, that's just part of growing up. Like,
I know. I used to have so many cool I used to have Street Sharks.
I always wanted Street Sharks.
I always wanted
shark.
I think the main guy was the Tiger Shark with the roller skates,
Everyone
which is just
wanted
such a fucking boardroom decision. What are the kids like? Well, they like sharks and they like rollerblades.
Well, that's the thing, and everyone wanted it. Everyone wanted the one with
really
rollerblades, even though it was such a cynical maneuver of like, okay, what will the kids like? Well, we're going to put this one. He's going to have neon rollerblades. He's going to be a tiger shark, and they're going so he's like gets the extreme sports demographic. Like, it's going to be great.
And he never took those off, like, because the cartoon sucked. Street Sharks cartoon was fucking awful. Even as a kid, I thought that was outrageously shit.
I remember its existence, but I don't remember like the content of it. I remember I did watch it.
I watched a few episodes and I was like, this is shit. Like, even as a kid, where you'll sit there and fucking watch anything, I just couldn't watch it because it was awful.
Yeah, I watched I watched pretty much everything. I even watched the Mighty Ducks cartoon, if you ever saw that.
Oh my god, no. I knew of it, but I don't think I ever saw it.
Yeah, it was where the Mighty Ducks, instead of being a group of children who were just called the Mighty Ducks and played hockey, they were a group of alien ducks.
From Mars?
Not from Mars. I can't remember where they were from.
Oh, that's turned me right off.
I suspect they were from like a planet where like hockey was also something, and they landed on Earth. And not only were they a hockey team, a very successful hockey team that people were okay with playing against
because they were alien mutant ducks.
Yeah, despite them obviously having slight advantages by I don't know, like hockey was their religion or some bullshit. But they were also superheroes. Who had like a giant like truck that had like the giant Mighty Duck like the hockey mask. The duck hockey mask on the front because it was based because the Mighty Ducks were originally an old movie series where it was just about a bunch of kids who were called the Mighty Ducks who played hockey.
Seeing a movie at like they played it to us at fucking school or something.
I remember them being kind of bad, but then I was never really a fan of those particular kind of kids movies.
No, I never liked them.
I like cartoons, you know.
Yeah. Well, speaking of kids stuff, after that horrific tangent, what we also did was we went and saw Zootopia or Zootropolis, depending on where you are. And oh my fucking god, I loved that movie.
It's because it's got a bunny in it and you like bunnies.
I know, but like... The Good Dinosaur had a dinosaur in it, but it wasn't perfect. It was alright.
Yeah, that Good Dinosaur was okay.
Yeah, it was okay, but Zootopia is like fucking amazing. I loved that. I thought it was really, really well written, and it looks gorgeous, and the acting's top notch, and the writing's fantastic, and oh god, it's just so fucking entertaining. I want to go see it again. I'm sitting there, like, I came home from, like, seeing it, and just went on Amazon. I was like, yeah, I'll pop the Blu-ray in my wish list. Can't buy it yet. You can pre-order it, but I just want it there, so I know it's there.
Yeah, no, it was really good because the one thing the trailers don't really do a great job of showing is that the movie's not really about what you think it's about.
Yeah. It's a bunny cop movie.
Yeah. Like, not to kind of put too much kind of spoilers in it, because it's obviously still at the cinema, but let's just say it has a lot of parallels to things going off in the real world right now and sort of showing you the logical errors in the way some people deal with it.
But not in a preachy or overly clumsy way. It's very subtle, and it's very well done and very well executed, and I just want to watch it all the day because it's very good.
So I guess we can say that if anyone wants to go and watch a CG movie, a kids movie that's fairly harmless but actually has a good message behind it, then go watch Zootopia or Zootropolis if you're in Europe.
Whatever it is, I think it's wonderful.
That was the weird thing though. When watching it. Because, I mean, I don't know if everyone knows this, but the reason why it's called Zootropolis in, I think it's just Europe, is because there's like a zoo that was going to open somewhere in mainland Europe that was going to be called Zootopia. And I don't think it's ever actually opened, but they
still own the
rights to it or something.
Yeah.
And so it meant that they couldn't release a movie called that. Because it means that they wouldn't hold on to the rights.
It's
probably something to do with... It wouldn't surprise me if it was in Germany, because I know Germany's like copyright laws are fucking insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they had to change the name. But the problem is, when you're watching the movie, and because the main city is called Zootropolis, you're sitting there going like... Every single time they say that, it had to be re-recorded because in the original version of the movie, they were saying Zootopia.
Like, oh my goodness, I packed my bags and I'm going to move to Zootropolis. It's going to be really good, and I'm going to... Oh my goodness, it's going to be so great.
I would have loved it if it was a different voice.
It was like...
But no, it wasn't actually that bad.
I'm joking. It was... You couldn't tell, but just every time you heard them say Zootropolis, you were like, that had to be re-recorded and resynced.
Because they obviously had to redo that entire line.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, it was a good movie.
I can recommend it. I thought it was absolutely lovely and very, very entertaining and cute and lovely.
But to talk about less innocent things, there is the other thing you did this week.
The other thing I did
Yeah, the other thing you did.
with my friend Josh.
Yeah, that thing, that seedy, awful thing that you should be ashamed of.
That dirty, horrible thing that I did with Josh. That sounds really bad.
That does sound bad.
Okay, before anyone starts like getting really freaked out, my friend Josh lives in America, and I wanted to roleplay with him on WoW. Now, bit of a background for World of Warcraft RPing, role-playing. Usually what you do is there are role-playing servers where you can go and you can talk in character with other people talking in character and just hang out, or like you can have big storylines. It's very loose, and a lot of people do it differently. And you know, you can just go and hang out, and there are certain spots that you can go and hang out, like say you're a blood elf, you can hang around Silvermoon and talk to other blood elves or whatever. Or you can be a complete deviant and go to Goldshire if you're on the Alliance and hate sanity. Goldshire is legendary. It's
That's where all of the erotic role players hang out, isn't it?
Now, I'm not judging you. If you want to go erotic roleplay ERP, you do that, and you do that to your heart's content, and you do that until your fucking genitals burst. Do whatever you want.
Although you probably shouldn't do it that much.
Maybe don't do it that much, and that's just me saying that because I care about you and I don't want you to hurt yourself. But it's still fun to occasionally dip into that craziness. Because it's not just like standard cybering. It's weird stuff. I mean, stuff that, obviously I'm going to call it weird because it's not my kink, but it's strange and unusual things. So, my friend Josh and I managed to get a trial account on the Americas server, so we can play together. I mean, we make our way down to Goldshire on Moonguard, US. It is fucking packed. Because the biggest role-playing server in Europe is Argent Dawn, and that doesn't seem to have anywhere near as many people as the US Moonguard does.
Well, that's going to have a knock-on effect, because like there's a certain percentage of like the population of WoW who are going to want to do like erotic roleplay and be very vocal about it.
Yeah.
A certain percentage. The problem is when a server has a much higher population, that means that number of people is a lot bigger.
Yeah. No. Yes, definitely. So what Josh and I did was I rolled a dwarf so I could hang out with his dwarf. Both paladins.
Yeah.
We were high chaplains of the Order of Chastity, if memory serves. And we went to Goldshire to preach the light and basically like have a go at everyone and chastise them for being decadent and living in sin. So, because, like, the weird thing with trial accounts is that you, like, people who are, like, 10 levels above you or below you can't hear what you say.
So, like, your speech bubbles above your head don't appear for them.
They don't appear. Your emotes do. So if I type /scowl, which then it'll come up with so-and-so scowls at so-and-so if you've got a target. Those are still readable by people of any level. So I was basically like Josh's mute friend who was just standing there, shaking his head, fear like, no, this is dreadful. Oh.
You were just backing up his statements.
Yeah, I was like, I was
like
just,
emoting at people.
I was nodding and emoting and like wandering around, and like I made a night elf friend who just kept dancing and blowing kisses at me as I kept scowling and like shooing her away. Like, get out of here, and she's like, mwah. I'm like, no, go away. But yeah, so just stood there going like, oh yes. Like, you know, basically, this being a paladin.
Yeah.
In fucking Goldshire. And, like, got a good few laughs there. But we got, like, one guy who comes up to us who's another paladin, like a human paladin, and in character is outraged by what we're doing. He's like, what are you doing? Like,
what was he, a paladin of Slanesh?
Basically. And yeah, and I was Skyping with Josh at the time, I was like, dude, what the fuck? This guy is the worst paladin. Paladins are supposed to be complete dicks who hate people having fun. What the hell? So Josh is like, oh yes, like, because everyone else is basically in their underwear, is like, oh yes, maybe you could all take a note from this man here, who's fully clothed, might I add. And, like, he's like, what are you doing? You two need to leave. And, like, what? We're preaching the light. We're holy paladins of the Order of Chastity. And we are very angry at all the naughtiness going on here. You know, we're just being stupid.
Well, that's the interesting thing about, like, role-playing, especially in that kind of setting, is that
Role-playing interesting characters is always loved.
Yeah, and you can troll and be a dick, but provided that you've got a really good roleplay reason for doing so, no one really minds.
No, this is true. It's like, it's always fun to roleplay with people who are role-playing dickheads. Because it's such an interesting experience. So yeah, that's basically what we were doing. But, you know, obviously we're being jokey and...
Very tongue-in-cheek.
Very tongue-in-cheek. So yeah, and like, we have a look around, and God, there's just so many people there, and it's just like, oh my goodness, this is absolutely crazy.
Haven't you encountered, like, legit brothels and things?
Yeah, I have.
Like people actually selling sexual services?
Yeah, no, this is a common thing, and, you know, more power to them, there's nothing wrong with sex workers.
No. But you don't expect it, you know, in the Lion's Pride Inn.
You really fucking don't. And, like, you know, there's, like, people running around going, oh, I'll cyber with you for, like, 500 gold or whatever. And it's like, oh, you're selling yourself short. But especially with warlords. I mean, everyone's a fucking millionaire now.
Well, getting 500 gold's nothing.
That's fuck all. Yeah, go for, like, I don't know, 5,000? You know? Come on, you're worth more than 500 gold.
Maybe they know they're shit at cybering.
Maybe.
They just kind of feel like, I fumble with your... winkle, and then maybe you do an orgasm, now pay me 500 gold, and the person's like, well, I guess if I'm only paying 500 gold, then I can't expect much. You get what you pay for.
It's good. I'll tell you what, you know, slash dance for the next, like, minute and a half, and then I'll give you your gold. I need to get something out of this.
I think we found out now why I don't work on a sex line.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't be hot, courteous, or naughty.
I would not.
No.
I would not.
But no, it was very interesting to see basically Argent Dawn Goldshire on a massive scale.
Yeah, you thought Argent Dawn was bad.
No, I mean, like, last time I went to Goldshire and Argent Dawn on an account that I pay for so I can have people, like, talk to me. I went in with my Warlock, Galahalt, because you can't help but want to look at the weirdness.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you need to know. So I go there and I'm sitting there and, like, my currently, because in an add-on that I have, and there's many different types of add-ons. You can, if someone else has this add-on, they mouse over you, and you can put in things like your full name, and like your character's full name, and like height, weight, history, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's basically add-ons to do all the stuff that WoW doesn't have space for, so that you can have like a full like profile for your character.
Yeah, and they're really great. Reading some of those is some of the most fun I've ever had. Like, oh my goodness, like, I'm trying to remember some, because I print screen ones that I find, like, you know, like troll ones or whatever. Or ones that are just, like, really my immortal. Yeah. Because I'm not going to share them anyway, because I'm not a dickhead, but, you know.
But you want them for you.
I want them for me, because I think they're adorable, because I was like that once. Yeah, as someone who has gotten past the horrible Mary Sue writing stage, I can look back at that and laugh with a bit of endearment, you know, like, oh, bless them. I did worse when I was your age, or whatever. So my Warlock sat there, and this human runs up to me in her underwear and just basically sits on my lap and starts dancing. And he's like, could you not, dear? Because he's not into that, and neither am I. And she's like, alright, fine. And then she runs up. A night elf comes up, starts doing the same thing, and he's like, bugger off. She runs up, a fucking human guy in his knickers runs down and starts doing it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going somewhere else for a drink. Which was just like, that was quite a funny exchange. That's fine. But like, there's just sex all the time in there, and it's just the most bizarre thing.
I think everybody who plays World of Warcraft sort of owes it to themselves to at some point go and investigate an RP server's Goldshire.
Download something like My Roleplay or XRP or TRP, and just go to Goldshire on an RP server and just watch. Just watch. It is fucking hours of entertainment.
I mean, Goldshire is entertaining at the best of times because of people just... That's where everyone goes to have wild arguments.
They go to have really horribly, like, racist arguments, dick-waving competitions, and, like, they like dueling people, like, 60 levels beneath them.
And then calling you a scrub when you say no, fuck off.
Yeah, it's a fucking weird place pretty much wherever you are. But, yeah. So, that's another thing I gone and did.
That's another thing you gone and did.
I don't think Josh will ever forgive me. Sorry.
Probably not.
We should probably censor your name, mate. I'm sorry.
It's fine. You mentioned him in another podcast. It's okay.
That's cool. So, that's nearly all I've been doing.
You have been doing a lot.
I have been doing a lot. What have you been up to?
What have I been up to?
Yes.
Well, I did something quite interesting the other week.
Okay.
So, a while ago, if you've seen our skate video that we did, the game Skate, not we made a video where we were skating.
No, I haven't skated in like 6 years. So.
But yeah, you'll know that I used to skateboard. I used to do the tricks and do the mad flips.
I bet that was well sick, bro.
I totally used to land them sketchy, though. It wasn't that sick.
Really?
I'm just saying terminology now.
But the thing is, you know what this terminology means, so it's just weird.
It is weird.
I kept landing it sketchy, but we both know what that means.
Yeah, I know.
What?
But it feels wrong to say it now because I've been out the game so long. But yeah, so I used to skateboard. I've like
one of our first, I think it was our second date we went skateboarding.
I think that was when it wasn't officially a date, it was just, hey, we're kind of friends.
Hey friends! Hey friends, let's want to go skateboard? That's legitimately what happened.
But that was that time, and that's like nearly 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
That was like one of the last times that I ever went skateboarding. And I think I've been out like once since then, so I've not really kept up with it. And like
only skating like maybe twice in the past 10 years. That seems fine.
But I thought, because I'm going to be 30 this year, so I'm getting on.
Yeah,
I'm getting on. And I thought, you know what? I want to have at least one last go. I want to have a real go at it and sort of go out for old time's sake, because if I leave it for another couple of years, like, it's not that I won't physically be able to do it, but I kind of feel like the injuries I would sustain whilst doing it would not be worth the hassle.
No, when you're young, you kind of bounce.
Oh, you fucking bat! Like, the amount of times I fell over really badly when I was doing it when I was like 18, and like, you fall over and it hurts, but like, the next day you don't feel it, so it's great.
Oh, to be young again.
So I asked your brother, because your brother skateboards.
My brother he's been skateboarding, like, we started at the same time, like when he was like 7 or 8.
Yeah, because he's quite a bit younger than you.
He's 6 years younger than me, yeah. So like, and we'd go out skating together with him and his friend Jasper, and yeah, he never stopped. So he's very good.
Yeah, he's quite good.
My brother is a very good. Like, of course, I'm liable to say that. Hey guys, my brother is like really good at stuff, but no, he is very good at skateboarding. So yeah, he goes out like every week.
Yeah, so I went out skateboarding with him for old time's sake. It was a good thing and a bad thing that I did.
What you did? What was the bad thing that you did?
Well, we went out to a little skate park, a little outdoors one. I barely used the ramps because I was terrified of them. Because I used to skate at skate parks all the time, but I sort of realised very, very quickly that was where I was going to hurt myself. So I mainly concentrated with like trying stuff on the flats, and so it was kind of adorable of watching someone who's like 30.
You're like, hello, fellow kids.
Hello, fellow children. Like, trying to do tricks and things, and like, it was startling how much muscle memory I had.
Nice.
So like, my ollies were always shit, but I could still ollie but I could do like pop shove-its and things like those. I was actually still alright at. And then, because your brother's friend Jasper was also there, and he's quite good.
Well, yeah, he does skateboard like a lot.
Yeah, he skateboards
Jasper
a lot.
skateboards like every day.
So he can do like the kind of tricks that I look at the board and I go, I physically don't understand what just happened there.
Physics maybe happened.
Yeah. And then he suggested, hey, how about we all have a game of skate? Which I've never played back in the day, which is,
That's a horse.
It's horse, whoever
No, I never played it because I was never a trick. I was never a trick skateboarder. I used my skateboard as a mode of transportation.
That's fair.
I was never that cool.
But
to like, I can pop the mad shove-its.
But yeah, so he was like, okay, let's do a game of skate. So obviously, like, if you don't know the rules of skate or horse for that matter, every one person sets a trick and then everyone else tries to match it. And if you fail to match it, then you get a letter.
Yeah,
and eventually, and so you'd get S, and then if you fail another one, you get K, and when you eventually spell the word skate, you've lost.
First person to get a skate loses.
Now we kind of lost track, so I have a feeling that I didn't just get enough letters to spell skate. I got enough letters to spell skateboarding is not a thing I should do anymore because I'm getting quite old.
Oh,
But
I can understand how you lost track of that. Actually,
but I did have my 2 moments of being really oddly proud, because even though I'm shit and I haven't done it for 10 years. Like, I still managed to set the trick of a varial kickflip and not lose that round because I think Jasper managed it, but I don't think Al managed it or something. So it was like, so I didn't lose that round, and I managed to beat them all by doing a trick that hasn't been popular since the 1980s.
Because you're an old man.
Yeah, because my group of friends we all got really good at a trick called a boneless.
Bonelesses are fucking weird.
It's
kind of like the poor man's ollie.
Well, it was a precursor to the ollie, because if you are not aware if you're not familiar with skateboarding terminology, an ollie is where you like kick down on the back of the board and bring your front foot up, and so you basically do the basic jump in the air with the skateboard, and you don't touch the board with your hands. It just kind of pops up off the ground. A boneless is something that sort of made before ollies were invented, as far as I'm aware. And what you do is you kind of...
Ollies weren't invented, they were discovered.
Technically, that's probably true. But yeah, a boneless is where you grab the board and then you take one foot off the board and put it down on the floor and then press it off the ground. And then jump back onto the board in sort of mid-air. But doing that while moving requires quite a lot of coordination, because obviously you're...
Those blow my fucking mind.
They're a weird trick, because it basically has the same effect of an ollie, of getting you off the ground, but obviously you're holding onto the board to bring it up, and you're using your foot to push off the ground, so you're not popping the ball at all. But the thing is, I got used to doing those when I was a kid, and my brain automatically does a 180 of them anyway, which is the slightly more...
yes, I automatically do the really cool version.
No, I found it easier. But
fucking
it's not
humble brag.
But a lot of people don't ever learn the trick because it's since been supplanted by ollies. So I was able to get my odd proud moment where I was able to pull off a boneless, like, flawlessly, and then have 2 people who are much, much better at skateboarding than I have ever been go, what?
And you're like, children, gather round. Let Papa Wib tell you a story.
So yes, by having knowledge of a trick no one bothers with at all, I was able to make other people get a letter and skate.
Well, no.
Which, for someone who hasn't skated in so long, skating against people so much better than me was something I am so proud of that I am willing to brag about it on a podcast.
I'm not... You gotta take what you can, yeah?
What I'm not so proud about is that I tried pumping, which is not a sexual euphemism.
Yeah, you need to explain what the fuck pumping is right now.
It's a process when you're on a half pipe where you readjust your weight by like pressing down when you're on the transitional part of the ramp to gain speed going in and out of a ramp. So it means that on a half pipe you can basically go for an infinite amount of time. You can just keep going and going and going because you don't run out of momentum because you're adding to it by this technique. I used to be quite good at it. The thing is, that uses muscles in my legs that I don't use normally for anything ever.
I thought you were going to... That uses muscles in my legs.
Well, it does. That would not be a lie. And I think that was what really fucked me over. Because I did it for like 2 minutes. And then
2 minutes too long.
And then I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. I started to feel the tension in my legs. And I was fine for like the rest of the day skating. But then when I got home, I was like, oh God, my legs don't work anymore. And for like the next like 2-3 days, I could walk fine.
You walked like you were wearing a very full nappy.
A little bit, because my legs didn't bend properly.
No.
But what was really painful was getting up or sitting down. Like, I'd just get up and be like, ooh!
Old man noises!
Yeah, it was basically going skateboarding was not only a metaphorical transition in my head from going from youth to old age, of saying goodbye to something I used to do and probably won't do again, but giving it a last hurrah to see if I still had the skills to do it. And I could still do most of my old tricks, so I was happy with that. And then transitioning into being an old fuck who doesn't do things like that because he'll kill himself.
Well, yeah.
But what I didn't anticipate was that it also made me, for several days, physically transition into that as well, by being an old man who needs help to get out of a seat.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Which was a thing that I did. But I had fun, and I thought that was something that, I get to sound cool on the internet because I did a skateboard.
Yeah, you did one and you didn't die.
I didn't die. I managed to not actually completely eat shit either. I never fell over really badly.
Nice.
I can't, all the times I fell over, I did it in the sort of way where I landed and then just continued to crumple. And just kind of splayed out, as opposed to actually falling over and eating shit on the ground.
Well, the important thing about falling is that you got to go limp.
Yeah,
that's how you fall.
And that's pretty much what I did, although I think it's because my muscles are weak, and they couldn't stand the impact, so they just kind of crumpled and died. And I guess there's the other thing I've been doing.
The thing I've been doing as well.
You've also been doing it.
I have also been doing it.
And I think it's about time that I talk about Dark Souls on the podcast again.
Why not? It's been like 40 minutes.
It's been like 40 minutes, so I've earned talking about Dark Souls again.
I also want to talk about Dark Souls, so...
Oh, because you've actually started playing it properly.
Yes, I've started playing it now. Because I always let you kind of have the brunt of it, because otherwise...
You let me tank it.
I let you tank it, because otherwise, you're going to probably kill me. Because you want to play it all the time forever. So I let you have that, because I'm nowhere near as hyped. But whatever.
I was pretty hyped for Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, what do you think about it now? Now that it's been out for, I don't know, at least a few days.
Well, it's been out for a couple of weeks now. So,
there we go.
So I won't be as shy about spoilers. I won't be a dick about it, but there are some things that I will talk about now that I wouldn't have talked about a couple of weeks ago. But I've beaten the game now, so I have a bit more of a complete opinion on it. I'm currently starting my second playthrough.
New Game Plus or normal?
No, I've started it again from scratch to basically go through and do all the things that I missed. Because I missed a lot, because I was determined on my first playthrough to not look on the internet for help at all. So I just kind of went through and I missed loads of areas and hidden items and shit.
Man, that's the beauty of Dark Souls, though. There's so many snaking paths and different things that you miss.
Well, yeah, so I wanted to do it like as legit as possible that first time. Because I've not had a chance to do that because... Dark Souls, Demon Souls, and Dark Souls 2 had all been out for a significant amount of time when I actually played them. So, even if I hadn't meant to know stuff about them, I kind of had picked stuff up. But with this, of course, I knew nothing about it. I'd avoided nearly everything. And so I actually got this really kind of, interesting first glance without being spoiled. So that was cool. But that said... Having now played it, because I think I said something in the last podcast, something to the effect of that theoretically it could be the best Souls game because they've taken elements from all of the other Souls games that worked and kind of mashed them together. And now having played it, I have now come to the conclusion that it's a really good Souls game. I really like it. I like it more than Dark Souls 2. I like it more than Demon Souls. I still think Dark Souls 1 is a better game.
Fair enough. Dark Souls 3 to me feels like a hell of a lot of fan service.
That's one of the problems.
I picked up Mirror armor. Lucatiel, well, it's not her armor. Not Lucatiel of Mirror.
But that is the armor she wears.
It's the armor she wears. You can get it quite early on.
You can get her mask as well.
You can get her mask as well, which I have, and I'm just like, okay, bit fan servicey because they're like you can get loads of other stuff as well.
Oh yeah, well I mean there is a character in the Katarina armor, which is the Onion Bro armor that C. Maya wore in the first game, and that's just a character in it, and it's like again it's all these little bits of fan service. And
there's an enemy near him as well, where it's just like, are you fucking serious? I don't really want to spoil it.
Oh, it uses a very familiar set of animations.
Yes, thank you. That's exactly what I meant to say.
I mean, there's loads of it throughout the game, and some of it's makes sense canonically because of the whole endless cycle thing and things being repeated. But some of it you do kind of get to a point you're like, one of the cool things about Dark Souls 1 is that it was kind of doing its own thing when it wasn't ripping off Berserk. Or riffing on Demon Souls. But a lot of it was its own thing, whereas like Dark Souls 3 spends most of its time just ripping off Dark Souls 1. As someone that like considers Dark Souls 1 one of their favourite games of all time.
No, that's fair.
All that the nostalgia thing, even though I only played it like the other year ago, but like for the first time, but like that kind of nostalgia, that like familiarity that I have with the elements they bring in from Dark Souls 1. Like, I'm the mark for that kind of stuff. I'm the type of person they put that in for, and it's like, you know, that stuff is cool, and I'm glad that you're acknowledging that stuff, because it's cool stuff. But by the same token, I would have liked you to do a bit more of your own thing, and I feel that kind of comes across with the plot as well, of that it... I think they could have really done with having something that wasn't quite so, yeah, your big thing is linking the fire here. Or at least giving you a different reason to care about it, because it feels like it just
feels like a rehash.
Yeah, and I mean, I still really, really like it. Like, that's not to say that I dislike the game.
Oh, that doesn't mean it's shit, it just means that it's not perfect.
But yeah, I just felt like Dark Souls 1 was a much more unique game. Now that game does have its flaws, but those are mostly like mechanical things, or they ran out of money, so the whole of Lost Islip happened.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff hasn't really happened here. But its flaws are more just, you know, that it's, even though it's a really polished version of something that we've already had, it is still mostly something we've already seen.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes Dark Souls 3 not quite as good as Dark Souls 1, in my opinion, anyway. But I do totally understand some people that do say it's their favourite Souls game so far. I
can understand it. I mean, speaking as someone who is not really a very good Souls player, if, you know, you caught the stream last weekend, which, you know, proves it. I'm not great at Dark Souls, and I'm okay with, like, sitting there going, I'm just going to get as far as I can, and that's going to be the end of my journey.
See, that's
I'm
what I go
enjoy
into.
the time.
I go into Souls games like that, and then I get stubborn.
Everyone you fucking played.
I haven't beat Demon's Souls.
Okay, yet. And it's like, I really do like the touch-ups. Like, on stream, we did the password thing, so...
Oh, so you could summon in specific people, or they could summon you specifically.
Yeah, and I thought that's a really cool thing they put in there. Yeah, they also scale people down to fit with, like, soul levels. So it's like,
I think that only works with that password system.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the password system. Sorry, I should be more specific. But yeah, I really like that. That's cool. Mad Phantoms are
weird.
But the thing, I think I've only met one decent one. But okay, so I was playing it today, and I am a person who loves jolly cooperation. I love helping everyone out. So I'll always put my summon sign down and just basically do the same area like 30 times until I feel comfortable enough with going and doing it myself, so I know where everything is and I know what to do. And anyone who thinks that's not how you should play Dark Souls, fuck off.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not making you play it like that. So I saw this thing about, like, oh yeah, like, I think Jim Sterling did something, like, mentioned it, where it was like, summoning is fine. It doesn't matter if you summon people. It doesn't mean you're playing Souls wrong, but I'm not going to get onto that. It's just like, look, play it however you want. Enjoy your game.
It's the great thing about the Souls series. It is notorious for being difficult, but there are so many ways that you can adjust the game's difficulty in order to find a level that you are able to beat the game at. Because the game fundamentally, that series, has fundamentally always been about, it wants you to win, it just wants you to earn it.
Yeah, no, I'm getting better with that. Like, today, like, getting Lucatiel's armor, or Mirror Knight armor, I died like 3 times to that fucking elevator. Because I just couldn't figure out, like, the gauntlet on the way there, not a problem. Not a problem. Heights? Fuck that.
What, you were falling off the elevator?
No, when you have to jump off the elevator, because there's, like, a secret panel. I kept misjudging it.
Oh, God.
And fucking falling on my face
Really?
and
I've never done that.
This happened to me 3 fucking times. Like, it was soul-wrenching. Don't laugh at me!
How high have you got to fall off that thing? It's
pretty high. I hollowed pretty quick.
Oh God! I thought it was fairly.
No.
I thought it broadcast where it was fairly well.
No. The first 2 times I didn't see it. I was like, I guess it's there. So the first time I did it, I was very impulsive, and I went up, and I was like, yeah, that there it is. It was not it. It was literally like light from the window behind me that made a bit of the floor
You
lighter.
can, when you get to the point where you're supposed to jump off, you can hear Onion Bro Knight. You can hear him going,
Yeah, I didn't know that. So first time I fucked up and I was like, shit. So I had to go back and I got a fucking system going for that gauntlet. So you drop down on the rats and you do a plunge attack and you kill those, and then you climb up the thing.
because you didn't think to just use the bonfire that's right underneath that place.
Shut your mouth. Because no, honest to God, it didn't occur to me to go down because fucking Onion Bro comes up and he's like, hey, and I'm like, okay, and he's like, it just doesn't go up, and I'm like, then I need to go up, and I forgot that down was a thing. So I just keep going up. I never said I was smart or good at stuff, okay? So, second time, I run that gauntlet, drop down on the rats, plunging attack, climb up, pull the guy and the dog into the little sewer entrance, kill those, run halfway to the bridge, run back so they chase me, kill the little guy, stand near the ladder, do, like, thrusting attacks until the first saw guy dies, and then keep just, like, harassing the second guy until he manages to come in, roll back into the sewer, make him chase me, I run past him, go up the ladder, run straight for the fucking elevator. I had to do that 3 fucking times. It's ingrained in my memory now. Second time, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna relax. I'm gonna take it easy. I'm gonna go up and down this elevator all day. I need to figure out where that lip is. I go up and down like 3 or 4 times. And I see it on the 4th time. I'm like, there it is! Oh my goodness! So I jump a bit late.
Oh.
I fall to my death. I land on it, but I die. So I'm like, oh, this is not on. So I run the gauntlet again. This time I'm like, you fucking I'm just cursing the whole way because I'm so fucking fed up of this.
I'm still fascinated that this is something you got hung up on. I don't think I've even taken...
I forgot that there was a bonfire. I forgot the lifts go down.
Not even about that. I have never even taken damage rolling off that elevator.
I don't know either, okay? I don't know what to say.
Maybe it's like your reaction time is like a full second behind where it needs to be.
I was lagging pretty bad.
No.
I don't know. I don't fucking know, okay? I finally get there and I'm like, to right your mother. So, I go there and there's that big enemy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right you bastard. So I go down there, it kills me. I have to go back again. I run the gauntlet. Get on the lift. I go up and down it about 3 times to make sure. I jump off. I take a little bit of fall damage, but I'm okay. Okay. And then I go back and I kick that thing's ass, and I'm like, you motherfucker. I did it. I fucking did it. I'm just gonna have a nap. And that wasn't even getting I still hadn't got the armor yet.
Oh yeah, because you've got to like...
once
you pass that area, you've got to go through another little gauntlet of awful enemies and then drop down on something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a fun little run.
When I got it, I was like, you know what, fuck it, homeward bone, fuck everything. I'm leaving, I deserve to get out of here unscathed. And now I'm on that really huge chapel area.
Oh, you're going towards the... I can't remember what it's called. Something... Oh, is it something in the deep? Because you go and meet the deacons boss fight.
That boss fight, really easy.
Oh, 'cause you've helped people.
I've helped people. I've done it once, and it was really easy. And I was like, this just literally just takes time and patience.
If it helps, I'm like... Even on your own, it's a piece of piss.
No. Yeah, I get that.
The only difficulty...
You've got to look out for the big guys, because it looks like they heal or buff.
No, not so much.
They do something, the big fat guys.
What that boss fight is, the Deacons of the Deep, I think it's called, is there is a red energy that will be around a certain enemy, and that's the one that you hurt, because that's the one that actually has the health bar of the thing.
Yeah,
the rest of them will just respawn, so there's no point killing them, unless they're just pissing you off. And so you just have to keep, running around, hitting the ones that are the damaging ones, and then running out, like when that one's dead, or it's become too swamped to deal with because there's too many enemies, and just keep running back and forth. It's easy.
It's like it was like, okay.
What you have
beats the horrible tree pustules and the crystal thing. Oh my god, fuck both of those.
What's even worse is that you haven't got anywhere near. I want to call it is it Eliam Lois from Dark Souls 2, but it's not. It's the icy place where you fight.
That's the DLC area from Dark Souls 2.
Eliam Lois was, yeah. But in Dark Souls 3, there is a place that's snowy, and the boss of that area is a guy called Pontiff Sullivan.
Oh.
Who is... He's not the hardest boss in the game. I'm not sure who are the hardest bosses in the game. For me, it was the actual final boss, which I just... Some people say he's really easy, and I guess that's the thing about Dark Souls, just depending on your...
I think the end game boss of Dark Souls is so easy. You know, it's like the biggest problem was my humongous dick getting in the way of me controlling everything. The humongous dick I totally have.
No, it has been a thing in the Souls game that the final boss is very rarely actually been one of the harder bosses in the game. But yeah, I found that boss really difficult. The final boss is the only thing I actually summoned in any help for. Everything else I did on my own, and that one I just couldn't get a beat on. I'm hoping the second time through I'm just going to try and do it on my own. I'm just going to throw myself at it an infinite amount of times.
What did you roll for your second go?
I'm going for a Dex build second time, because I've never actually bothered making a Dex build in any Souls game for some reason.
No, I tried in Dark Souls 2 to have a Dex build. I just couldn't get my head around it. It was just like, I need a shield.
Well, you can have a shield in a Dex build.
I know, but I wanted two swords.
Oh, you were going for a dual wielding. That's not
dual wield Dex. Yeah.
That's not inherently a Dex build.
Well, I went for a Dex build dual wield. So shut up.
But yeah, in that area, in the snowy area, that I still can't fucking remember the name of.
Snowy area. Dark snows.
The boss in that is a guy called Pontiff Sullivan, he's fast. He's fucking fast, and he summons a duplicate of himself.
Fuck that guy.
It took me a while to beat him. He's one of those bosses that's quite easy to beat with two people, because when something is making duplicates of itself, the easy way around that is just have two people.
Aggro, it's easy.
And then it's just, you can then manage the aggro fine. But when you're trying to deal with another instance on your own, it can be so fucking difficult. But yeah, you can have fun when you get to there. I think that was the first boss I encountered where I was like, fuck!
Yeah.
Fuck me! Like, the Crystal Sage is quite bad as well.
The Crystal Sage is just, I find it frustrating, because it's just like, there's shit everywhere. Although, some amazing person on stream, I'm so sorry, I can't remember your name, said that if you smash the crystals, that means less duplicates spawn.
Yeah.
So that's really useful.
Because that's the problem, that fight. It's just all about duplicates.
It's just shit everywhere, and you're like, fuck off, you weirdo.
Yeah,
damn.
those kind of fights where it's just about being pelted with shit from every angle, those tend to be the fights in Souls games that I don't really enjoy. I didn't enjoy the Crystal Sage fight.
No, I didn't enjoy the big tree thing.
I didn't mind that. It took me a while to get you, like, my first couple of attempts were fucking terrible, because I kind of wailed on its pustules, and that didn't really do much. And so then I tried to change tactics. And
it's gross.
Yeah. And then I found out that all you have to do is wail on its pustules a lot more.
Yeah, it's gross though. Oh god, it's yucky.
But I guess so. How are you feeling? Like, obviously you haven't beat the game.
Obviously, yeah.
But
I'm getting caught up on fucking elevators, man.
Well, apparently,
fuck.
The elevator to you. Elevators are the Dark Souls of Dark Souls.
The real Dark Souls starts with the lifts in Dark Souls, yes.
But how are you finding it compared to the previous Souls games you played?
Well, it is faster. I can definitely say that.
How you find, like, enjoyment-wise?
Enjoyment-wise, I am enjoying it. Now, it's a lot harder than Dark Souls 2.
Really?
I would, speaking as a casual Souls player.
Yeah,
because Dark Souls 2, I could play. And it was fine.
No, I think the start of Dark Souls 2 is more difficult than the boss is really, the first boss is really easy. But I find like the enemies in the start of Dark Souls 2 are just all really annoying. So I find the start of Dark Souls 2 actually quite difficult.
I'm trying to remember what the first boss of Dark Souls 2 was.
The Last Giant.
Yeah,
the Lost Giant. Whatever it is.
Whatever it is, it's a piece of piss. Yeah, yeah. That area, I really liked that area because it was just easy.
I don't like that area because when I'm playing it, I'm going, why isn't this the Undead Burg, the much better version of this area?
So miserable. Yeah, no, I mean, I've been finding it a bit more difficult, a bit more like Dark Souls 1, which, fine, that's great. I haven't got anything against Dark Souls 1, I'm just really bad at games.
You're just more familiar with Dark Souls 2.
I'm just more familiar with Dark Souls 2, because it was a bit easier, and it wasn't fantastic Souls game. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, I think the hate that Dark Souls 2 gets is a little bit extreme, but it is the weakest of the series.
It is definitely the weakest. But, like, the third one is, like, you definitely see the Bloodborne influences, which I'm so okay with.
That is the one Souls game I haven't played.
Yeah, yet, but we will.
One day when PS4s can be bought for £50.
Yes, then we'll put one on lay-by.
then I shall play Bloodborne.
Yeah. But no, I am enjoying it, but I like to go very slowly, and I like to help people out, and I guess I fuck it up because I'm so above the level I should be when I finally complete the area I'm in. But it's just me, you know, that's just how I play. I'm not saying it's a good way to do it, I'm just saying that's the way I do it.
I'd say that's got a lot to do with the Souls games are meant to be beaten by people of very different skill sets. Yeah. So it's like you can go through and beat the Souls games as a soul level, like 1. You can go through without leveling up.
Those people are scary, though.
But the thing is, that's not... That doesn't mean that's how you have to play the game.
No.
You can be, like, super over-leveled. It doesn't really matter.
Well, I mean, it's not like I'm sitting here going, oh my god, you guys, I'm so hardcore. Basically going and helping people out so that there's no risk to me, so that I drum the layout of the area into my head, so that when I finally decide that I'm comfortable enough to go out there, I can. Which happened to be in the fucking cathedral, and I got my fucking ass whooped by an NPC invader. This is the same guy where, literally, I beat nearly one-on-one with pure backstabs, helping this like, some other person out, and it's like, the one time I needed to be good, and I fucking couldn't manage it. I lost, like, 25,000.
Yeah.
Which is apparently my magic number for losing souls, because at the stream, my 10th death before we came off, I had 20,000 fucking souls on me, and I think that big old giant killed me, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm gonna call it a night now. I've had enough fun for one day.
But yeah, so I guess we can kind of conclude that yes, Dark Souls, like it was 2 weeks ago, still quite good.
Yeah, but watch out, because even though there's a new patch, I still don't know if it's running properly.
Oh yeah, the PC version is still probably like we
completely fucked.
Oh, it's still probably fucked on PC. I know that there is a lot of problems with summoning. Like I was trying to because on my second playthrough, like boss the only boss that I'm not bothered that I don't want to summon on is the final one. For my second run through, but other bosses I don't, because I've already beaten them on a previous run through. I don't care. I'll summon for them if I didn't enjoy fighting them the first time around. So like Crystal Sages. Like,
fuck
or Sage,
that.
I summoned in someone.
I was very lucky with that because I had a couple of friends helping me out. So,
but yeah, so I summoned someone for that. But the amount of times I failed, like the summoning failed, I think I probably tried summoning about 8 people before it finally actually summoned someone.
Youch.
It was really fucking annoying. The amount of time I'll be helping someone out. So what I like to do is to go into an area and put down a summon sign and help a few people through the area. So I kind of. Well,
a basic idea.
Well, usually I'll try and do a couple of runs by myself, and then after that I'll throw down a summon sign and then go through with other people, and then you kind of like, I feel that's a really natural way to learn the secrets of an area.
Yeah.
By everyone helping each other, which I kind of like.
Jolly cooperation.
Hells makes the game better.
Yeah.
And so, like, the amount of times I've seen someone summon me and then try and summon someone else and just be unable to summon. I thought there was something wrong with me. And then I looked online and it's like, oh no, this is a major problem. Like,
no, I had a spate of that today, actually, where, like, where I put my summon sign down and I must have gotten, like, 5 or 6, summoning failed. Like, no one could summon me. And I'm like, but my internet's fine. What the fuck? And then I remember you saying about that. I was like, oh, it's just Dark Souls being shit. Yeah. Okay.
It's a pity because I never had a problem with that with Dark Souls 2. I mean, I was playing Dark Souls 1.
Dark Souls 2, fucking, like, because we got the Scholar of the First Sin version. And that was basically like, you put a sign down, you're going to be summoned in, like, 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah, that was absolutely fine.
That was really quite good.
And I never played enough of Dark Souls 1 with other people to really find out.
Well, you can't do any more. They've shut the fucking servers down.
Oh, it's back up now.
Really?
Yeah, came back up.
Then I forget I said anything. I'm sorry, I'm very tired. It's been a long day.
We came straight from a gig.
We literally came straight from a gig, had dinner, and then we sat down to record, so we're still a bit frazzled.
And then because you're probably going to be going to bed soon, I've got to then edit the podcast together to be ready to go up tomorrow.
Well, it's not my fault that it was really busy all weekend and blah. Whatever. But yeah, Dark Souls is still pretty good, apart from when it's a bit shit.
Yeah. But mostly it's quite good.
Mostly it's quite good.
And we've played like 50 hours of it between the two of us, so...
Fucking seriously?
Yeah.
Well, saying that, I did go back to my character today and go, fucking 7 hours? How did that happen? I was just so like, no way I've been playing it 7 hours.
I will say I did beat Dark Souls 3 a lot quicker than the other Souls games.
How many hours did you clock?
I think somewhere like 35, something like that.
35?
Which my first playthrough of Dark Souls 1 was like 70. I mean, I know I missed a lot of stuff, but like... I mean, I guess there's a lot of, just being more familiar with the game mechanics, so of getting through a lot of areas quicker than I would have if I'd have had the same experiences in Dark Souls 3 as I had when I was at the experience level of when I played Dark Souls 1. Then I would have probably taken 70 hours to beat Dark Souls 3 as well.
I would think so, yeah.
But yeah, apart from me, it seems a bit shorter, but honestly...
Maybe you've just gotten better, who knows?
I don't know. The thing is, the thing of Dark Souls is in its replayability, so the length of a single playthrough is not really the most important. It's more about, like, do you want to replay that thing several times? Because that was the problem with Dark Souls 2, is that I only ever beat the full game once, because I was like, eh.
I didn't beat the game. I got quite far with my knight. And then I rolled a caster, which I actually really enjoyed.
I did a caster in Dark Souls 2. I did quite.
I did really enjoy caster in Dark Souls 2, but then it got a bit ridiculous in the weird windmill place, and that's what she's there and she's never leaving.
She's stuck there.
She's
forever.
stuck there. She's hollowed.
She's hollowed out.
Yeah. Actually, I think that's all we've got time for.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, so thank you very much for tuning in to the internet's #1 Biker Meister from Mars and Dark Souls podcast. Always a pleasure to have you guys here.
Next week we will be talking about the interesting parallels between Macbeth and episode 14 of Biker Meister from Mars season 1, and also about why the Bed of Chaos can go fuck itself.
Yeah. So until then, take care, and we'll see you later.
And remember, there's always time to rock and ride.